So, Roger, this one is for lovers of serious history.
It is.
And we do normally do a lot of bants around history books.
Yeah, but this is a banter-free zone.
Yeah, we're not going to bant today.
No.
And tell us why we're not bantering.
It's because this is Frank McDonough's latest book. It's latest in his series of the Hitler years, and it's on the Holocaust.
Right.
Frank's done, he's one of our most illustrious historians of the Third Reich and of Nazism, and he has done a series of books on both the Weimar Republic and the Third Reich. And this one is the latest in that, so it's concentrating solely on the Holocaust, from the origins, Nazi seizure of power in 1933, all the way up to the end in 1945. And he just charts that really well. It's narrative history, so it charts that development from, the early sort of propaganda and the sort of popular prejudice all the way up through the development of Nazi policy towards the Jews, which is very kind of evolutionary, and he charts that evolution really well, all the way up to, extermination and death camps at the end. So as I said, narrative history. He does cover the sort of main historiographical arguments around the Holocaust, which are significant, but that's not the focus. It's just telling the story in a really elegant and very informative way.
Is it novel in perspective, or is it just, beginners start here?
Essentially, I wouldn't say beginners start here, but it is a straight sort of narrative account. It would be ideal, relatively short actually, given the material. You can have obviously, countless volumes on the Holocaust. So it's a relatively short book. It's also rather a beautiful product, it must be said. You remember you were talking about how beautiful, Tom Holland's Suetonius was. This as well. If it wasn't for the subject matter, it would almost feel like a sort of coffee table book. So it's lots of illustrations, slightly heavy paper and so on. So it's really quite an elegant thing.
So I've got, teenagers. It sounds to me like maybe a good present for teenagers. They won't necessarily be the one that they unwrap on Christmas morning
and go, wow.
Yeah, but for an older, thoughtful teenager who you want to really understand this stuff beyond the kind of TikTok world.
Yeah, I would say that. It's certainly, as an entree into that subject, I think you can't really do better. I think it's brilliant in that sense. Yeah, okay. Absolutely. And it is one of those things, I suppose, to bring it up, and again, this is a banter-free zone today, but to bring it up to, where we are in the world at the moment, I think we need to remind ourselves of the horrors of the Holocaust occasionally, and the horrors of, what lies at the end of that road.
I think we've talked about this before, about the fact that the Holocaust has, for our lifetimes, retained a specific and particular place as the sort of epitome of horror, and not just another genocide as well, right? Other genocides have happened and they're horrific.
Other genocides are available.
Yeah,
yes.
But there's something specifically horrific about the Holocaust, right?
Yeah.
And yet, as all the Holocaust survivors, reach the end of their lives, the Holocaust is in danger of being kind of relegated to another genocide, right? And I think it's like super important that we make sure that younger generations understand that what happened was specific and specifically awful.
Yes, and that this was, what to me always sets it apart is that this was a very civilised, educated, enlightened society that did that.
Yeah, but more than that, there are very, very few examples in history where there has been a mass murder that was calculated to destroy an entire group of people. Mass murders have been a byproduct of war since the beginning of human, since Zog first picked up a rock and hit Zig or whatever, like the first cavemen. Like, that's part of being human, and it's terrible and it's tragic or whatever. But a deliberately framed bureaucratic process designed to eradicate from the top down, not just a kind of bottom up swell of violence, from the top down, to eradicate an entire race of people, specifically horrible and unprecedented.
Absolutely. And I, as I said, I think we owe it to ourselves to remind ourselves of that and the horrors of it at regular intervals. And Frank's book does that, wonderfully well.
Brilliant. Okay.
So, Frank McDonough, The Hitler Years, Holocaust, and it's for lovers of challenging,
serious and challenging
history.
Yeah, and my 17-year-old will be unwrapping it this Christmas with a look of slight bemusement.
Oh, lucky her.